Hello and welcome to the FPL fan show. The international break is nearly done and we're finally nearly back to FPL. Nacho, thoughts?
Oh, it's good to be back, isn't it? International break's good. You get a little bit of relaxation from FPL, but to be fair, once we get a day in, we're ready to get back at it, aren't we? And we get to reunited again, buddy. We get to reunite again.
I've missed you, Nacho.
It's been hard.
Yeah, not having Premier League on the weekend is so boring. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Honestly, this is so good to be back. And everybody in the chat already getting fired up. I think we've got 15 already. So thank you for tuning in. And I can't wait just to get going with this, really. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. There's a few new players in the league. I think there's a few new players. So
there's a big one. There's mid-price midfielders to go through. Yes. There's talk of wildcards. There's revealing our plans. And there's answering questions. Thank you all for sending in your lovely comments in the chat already. We've got some really great ones. Victor, the biggest fan of the FPL fan show, alongside obviously with KP as well. Victor's just sent in a super chat. Thank you, Victor.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you supporting the channel. We hope you had a great back-to-back holiday.
Don't be putting that in the chat because we...
There's all us, stressing about FPL. He's at the top in the top 20k and on back-to-back holidays.
I know, literally living the life. Honestly, it's
living the
jealousy
dream.
Right here, yeah.
Definitely. But thank you for joining. Thank you for the super chat. Very, very kind. Welcome to everyone else. So, shall we look at some of the hot topics then? I guess there's probably only one place to start. That is, are you actually Nacho Monreal?
Say what? I don't even know what language that is. I tried to use Spanish.
I think you just spoke French, Nacho.
Oh, well, clearly not.
Yeah, you can't even get the joke right.
I'm not associating myself anything with Arsenal right now, so I'm Nacho in disguise right now because there's no association. But
fair point.
Yeah, if anyone does speak Spanish, please, we'll have a chat in the chat here. I don't want to speak to you now.
And if anyone speaks English, you could do with some help with that as well. So that'd be good. All right, so there is only one place to start, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, let's just jump straight into it. Is Cristiano Ronaldo essential? Do we need to get him in our FPL teams?
So we go straight in. Cristiano Ronaldo is not essential. And that is because I live by the mantra of no FPL player is essential. Now, I think he's had, over 1 million transfers in right now. He's breaking records in terms of FPL right now. And I do think that he is, a very, very good option. But I think there's quite a few question marks about him and we need to address them right now. I think a few of them right now, it's going to be penalties. Is he the guaranteed penalty taker at Man United? Minutes. Now, I know it's Cristiano Ronaldo, but is he going to get guaranteed minutes to kick off? Because the attraction is the home fixture at Newcastle. Is he going to be featuring in that game? That's the main thing right now. I think the third one is just general fitness, getting up to speed with the Premier League. I know that he is... he's got the body of me, he's a joke. But I do think that he needs to make sure that he's up to speed with the Premier League. And I think it's a very different league, obviously, to what he's been playing in obviously, Italy right now. So what are your thoughts right now, mate? Should we be pulling the trigger, getting him in right now?
There's a lot of topics to cover with Ronaldo. I mean, just starting from the top of it, I do think, as a whole, Ronaldo is a really great option. He's a really great option because, look, he's going to be the star man in that team. Okay, you mentioned penalties. I'm 99% sure he's going to be on penalties.
Okay.
Man United will get penalties. The fitness issue, he's in training now. Obviously, he's not playing that second international game. I think he starts versus Newcastle. I just cannot see that he won't start. This is the big return. It's Ronaldo. It's not like he needs time to learn how they play. He's one of the best players in the world. He's going to play, I'm sure of it. And arguably, he's the best captain option against Newcastle. So, in my mind, I think if you've got 2 free transfers and you can bring Ronaldo in, you do. You definitely do. Because I just think he's got everything you want. He'll be in the box more. He plays as a striker these days. He's going to be getting the goals, lots of headed goals. We can touch on the reasons why he's not essential. And I agree, he's not essential because one of the things that Ronaldo will struggle with a little bit is that Juventus were very good in that they set their whole team up to play to Ronaldo. And by that, I mean, statistically, they were the best, I think, crossing team in Serie A last season, okay? And obviously, Ronaldo's main strength now is heading, and a lot of his goals are headers. Now, that's not Man United right now. It's just not. It's going to benefit Luke Shaw, I'm telling you now, because Luke Shaw is probably, with Fernandez, the best crosser at that club. He'll be putting in a lot more balls and he's going to get more assists. If you've got Luke Shaw, you're looking good. But Man United are going to have to change the way they play a little bit. At the minute, they're very reliant on pace and almost like counter-attacking football. Whereas now they're going to need to put a lot more balls in the box so that Ronaldo can score. So I think Ronaldo's going to do well. But I don't think he's not going to absolutely smash it. They're going to have to. It's going to take a little bit of tinkering. So
yeah. I have to totally agree that. Like for once in my life, I have to agree with your comments here. And I think that it's very much the case, as we mentioned. We haven't got the players at Man United where, you know, like Burnley, where they just get the head up, whip it in the box and hit the big man. Like, it is going to add a new dimension to Man United. I think first and foremost it is that Man United will be a more dangerous team because they have this option to fall back on. When they had Mason Greenwood on the pitch, they didn't have the opportunity to pump balls in the box. So they are going to be a bit more of a dangerous team now with this option. You know, one of the best headers in the ball, probably arguably on par with Calvert-Lewin, like to the head in, like jumping in Everton, just to get you on my side there.
Thanks, mate.
I do agree that I don't think Man United style suits Ronaldo, but we cannot knock the fact that he is a world-class player. Now, I do think that we're being a little bit skewed and a bit nostalgic about Ronaldo. I don't think that, like, I'm going to say he's going to be twice the good player as Lukaku, sitting at 1 million less. I think that's a big thing. So I think a lot of people probably listen right now thinking, oh, should I get him? I think for me right now, the argument for Ronaldo is not necessarily you're bringing him in for the player, it's more for the team structure. I think that's the big thing for me right now. Because we have so many good premium options now, we have Cristiano Ronaldo, Lukaku and Kane. I think whereas last season you could have avoided having a premium striker and just gone with premium midfielders, I think there's too much quality in that premium forward line to avoid it now. So I think going for Cristiano Ronaldo early is a nice move because what it does for you is it shifts your team structure from a 2 premium midfielder to a 1 premium forward and 1 premium midfielder. And then it gives you the opportunity to then go through the forwards as the fixtures change. Ronaldo in the next 3, on to Lukaku in game week 7, and then Harry Kane in game week 12. I think that is a strategy that I think a lot of managers should be looking towards if you are not put. I'm not fully convinced by Ronaldo, but I am in terms of that team structure.
I think it's a really good point. And you are right, because if you look at it at a really simplistic view, if you bring in Ronaldo, he's going to skyrocket in value.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's probably going to go up to about 12.8, 12.9 in just the next couple of weeks. So you're already going to make 0.2.
Yep.
Great value for your team. If you're wildcard in game week 7, you're going to get more value in your team, aren't you? And it's like, so it's that placeholder where you can move to Lukaku. I actually think Lukaku will be better value than Ronaldo this season, and I honestly do believe that. But it's the short-term gain with Ronaldo. It's that Newcastle fixture, the captaincy. I think the value you're going to get back on him, I think that's the reason why if you can bring Ronaldo into your team, you do. Now, it's worth saying that, obviously, I think most people will remove Bruno Fernandez, and I'll see what you think, but I think that's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because Bruno's going to lose penalties, and yes, we know he scored 3 goals against Leeds, and none of them were penalties, but you look at most of his goals last season, they were penalties. Yeah. So we can't discount that fact. He's going to lose loads of value as well. So do you really want a player saying a team's going to be losing you value? You don't. I just think he seems the right player to kind of downgrade so you can get a cheaper midfielder in and then get Ronaldo, right?
Yeah, I actually agree. Second time, guys. Second time, what were we? 10 minutes in, and I'm just saying yes. But literally, I do think that Fernandez, we saw in game week 1, scored a hat-trick. I think like we were all like, oh, Fernandez, phenomenal option. There's no denying that he is going to be a good FPL asset this season. But we look at the stats, we look at his history. He is very, very, very reliant on penalties. And if there is a doubt that he isn't going to be the penalty taker at Man United, at 12.5 million, I don't think that's good value. You compare him to Mo Salah, there's no comparison here. Mo Salah outstats him in outplay, and of course he gets penalties as well. So I just think if Fernandez isn't going to be on penalties, or there's a doubt there, I don't think that his underlying stats outfield is going to be enough to justify the 12.5 million. I think you just accept that Fernandez might do well and he might go on fire one game, but I think that's the risk worth taking in going for Ronaldo.
Interesting comments from people in the chat about Ronaldo. So Nuclear Atom says Ronaldo will be the one who will keep on pushing the players to keep scoring more goals. Yeah, I think he probably will help that United team. Victor says, in a world full of Kardashians, be a Diana. Keep your wild card. Don't jump on Cristiano Ronaldo and mess your team up until you're short and see some facts. Oh, so usually that would sound mad, but Victor is about 500 in the world right now.
I was going to say.
And absolutely killing it. So who are we to argue with him?
All back to Victor right now, honestly. Living the life right now.
Nuclear Atom says, not fully convinced, you simpleton. He scored 30 goals in every season and won 5 Ballon d'Or. I mean...
Yeah, like, that's the thing. We're not denying that he's not a phenomenal player. I just think, like, is Cavani really just going to sit on the bench and play Europa League? Like, is that actually going to happen? I don't see it.
No. I mean, transfer tips saying if Ronaldo is scoring, someone will be assisting. So it's a valid point, and I think if you've got to take like multiple hits to get Ronaldo instead of Fernandez, that's maybe why you keep Bruno. But I think if you can do the Ronaldo move, I just think it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think while we're on the topic of forwards, I think a big reason why people don't want to go to Ronaldo is because of the value of mid-price forwards. So I think let's have a quick roundup, because I think the mid-price forwards have been talked about loads recently. So I think there's 4 on the agenda really. Calvert-Lewin, we got Jimenez, we got Bamford, and we got Antonio. I think they're probably the 4 that people are looking to bring in right now. I think maybe ranking them is going to be beneficial to everyone here, especially with those who are currently sat on Ings and probably either looking to shift into a similar price forward or to go up into Cristiano Ronaldo. I think we both agree that Ings out, although he is going to be one of those players who will consistently return because he is so clinical. I don't think that you're getting your value at 8 million with him, whereas there's other options available at similar prices with better fixtures. So if I had to put you on the spot right now, then 4 right now, who do you think is 1, 2, 3, and 14?
What's with the language?
Just fluent. Bilingual.
Straight the fox. You're going to transfer to another club? Is that what's happening now?
I'm trying to get it in now.
Transfer window shut, mate. Okay, so ranking the mid-price forwards, and we're going to do this with the midfielders as well, if anyone waited. So, okay, so I think Ings has got to go. The fixtures have turned, and to be honest, he's been lucky to get the points he has. So if I was ranking the mid-price forwards, and it is worth saying, this is why I don't think it's worth having Ronaldo and Lukaku, because I think there's so much value in there, all right? So number 1, it's got to be Antonio. Okay, as long as he's fit, he is just absolutely killing it right now. Like, he could score a brace every game.
I agree.
Like, legit. And even in any hard fixture, I'd still back him to do it. So Antonio's got to be number 1. Number 2, if fit, has to be Calvert-Lewin. Absolutely has to be. Like, stats-wise, he's killing it. Stats-wise, he should have had more goals than he's already had. And we know he's been playing with a broken toe. It is worth saying he's got a bit of a thigh strain. So we've got to wait to hear whether he'll be fit. I think he will, but you never know. And there's Rondon there as backup now as well. But Calvert-Lewin, if fit, is an absolute must. Good fixtures, on penalties. Everton a lot more attacking this season, getting a lot more crosses in, playing with strengths. He's got to be in there. So they're the top 2. Number 3, it's quite close. I think if I was doing it this week, I'd probably say Jimenez because the fix. Oh no, would I? No, do you know what I'm going to say? Bamford. I'm going to say I'm saying Bamford because I trust him more right now. I think Lee's been attacking. They have got a difficult Liverpool fixture, but they've got good fixtures after that. The reason Jimenez is 4th, I do think this injury has had a massive effect on it, and I feel sorry for him, obviously, but he doesn't look the same. He's not going for the headers, the kind of... He just doesn't quite look the same player.
Yep.
And it just I know they've got great fixtures, and he's got good stats as well, but it just puts me off.
Yeah.
So that would be my ranking. What would be your 4?
Yeah, I think I've got to totally agree here. I think Antonio absolutely just runs away with this right now. I think if you don't own him, I think there's still value to come. I don't think you should be put off by his price increasing. I think you should still get on board. As you mentioned, I think he can score against anybody. Calvert-Lewin, and this is going to be a theme for the entire series here, the show, not series. Do not make early transfers, guys. Please wait for all the press conferences. We've got the coronavirus stuff going on, injuries. I just think you need to wait until the last minute, Friday evening. Wait until we get every single team with their press conferences. Calvert-Lewin, though, second, definitely. And I agree. I think Jimenez on historical, and I do think it's worth saying that Wolves have been so unlucky to lose that opening 3 fixtures. If you look at the underlying stats, they have been very, very good, and it's only a matter of time until they turn the tide. They have arguably the best long-term fixtures. If it ever is a time for Jimenez to go big, it's going to be from now for the next 10 game weeks. But personally, not a manager that likes to go just on assumption in terms of, he is going to kick on. I need to see a bit on the pitch. I need to see him get a goal. I need to see him get the assist. So I do think that Bamford is going to be 3rd pick there, because Leeds equally have brilliant long-term fixtures after this game week coming up. So I have to agree there. But I do think Jimenez should be on everybody's watch list, because I do think when he gets 1, it could start to steamroll a little bit for him.
So I think we're saying if you're going to have a forward line at the minute, it would be Ronaldo, Antonio, Calvert-Lewin.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And I do think there is definitely value to do that. But I just think the team structure right now is going towards that premium forward line.
Yeah.
And I think you need to start planning for that.
Okay, so if we're planning for that, then the next topic that we need to cover is we're going to need a mid-price midfielder to replace Fernandez. So I think the next thing we need to do is rank the mid-price midfielders going from, say, 5.5 million up to 8 million. So I'll let you take this one.
Okay. Well, should we just start with the discussion that everybody's looking at right now, and that is the Torres versus Greenwood versus Jota debate. Now, this has probably been one of the hottest topics in this season, really, because there's so much value available, and in a kind of FPL world right now where everybody's seeking value, it is so essential to get the right player in these kind of price brackets. We mentioned the forwards, now it's the midfielders. So I'm going to just reel off the ones here. I think Jota is a brilliant option if Firmino is confirmed to be ruled out longer term. I think even if Firmino is ruled out for 3 games, I think Jota is brilliant value. But I think him being ruled out for longer term makes Jota top of this list first and foremost. Torres has been really, really good recently, and in playing in a team like Man City with the attacking potential they have, if you get an out of position midfielder playing in a team like Man City, he should be an absolute no-brainer. My worry is Foden and Kevin De Bruyne back in training right now, who both can play in the false 9 position. That'll be a worry for Torres right now. And I think with the third one is Greenwood. Probably arguably the most impressive in my eyes, because he has been consistent and he's been playing the Man United side that I've actually been struggling a little bit in the last 2 games. He has actually been in brilliant form, scored in the last 3, but Cristiano Ronaldo coming to the team, Sancho, Rashford coming back, Cavani. I think he is a transfer waiting to happen long term. That's a general overview there, mate. Do you want me to give a top 3, 1, 2, 3, or?
Yeah, so I want to get your thoughts on those, and then the next thing I'm going to ask you is like the lower category. But just stop you there quickly. So Victor sent in another super chat towards KP. So the two big FPL fan supporters there having the time of their life. So thank you, Victor. We really, really do appreciate that. It really does help the channel. It makes our day, actually. And reading all your comments, it does mean a lot.
Yeah, they are funny.
So both Victor and KP saying about they're both saying about Jota being top, and I think I agree that Jota is the top option 100% right now. We've seen some news in the Liverpool Echo today that it says that Firmino is out for a couple of weeks. Now, it sounds like he's going to miss about 2 weeks. 2 weeks is enough. Honestly, Liverpool have got good fixtures, which means, Firmino's had a hamstring injury. They're not going to rush him back. Even if Jota comes in that 3rd game, he's still going to do well. Yeah. And I think Jota's the most nailed on with good fixtures. He is the best option in the mid-price right now, 100%. Okay. Torres, I do really like him, but I think we have to be careful. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's playing as the forward for City, and I do think this is going to be a bit of his breakout year. But this is probably the worst time to bring him in. It's the worst time to bring him in because you've got Foden and De Bruyne, who are back in training now, and City have got difficult fixtures. I know they've got Leicester and Southampton, which aren't too bad, but they've got, Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah, that's some tricky ones.
I can only see Torres starting 2 of the 4, so I think we need to be a little bit careful of that. Greenwood, it's paining me not owning him, honestly. But Greenwood, he has been quite lucky. Okay, the last 2 goals he scored were goalkeeping errors. Yeah, and I know he's a good player. He's great at finishing. I'm not saying that, but he has been a bit lucky. And I think with Sanchez there, Rashford, Martial, Ronaldo, Cavani, he's safe for about 1 or 2 more. But he is coming out of that team at some point.
Yeah, totally agree.
So Jota is quite far ahead, actually, in my eyes right now. Yep. All right, so the next thing I want to do is that category down. I'm talking about your Traores, your Damari Grays, Rafinhas. Talk to me about them. Yeah,
so I think, first and foremost, probably the one that's really been on everyone's lips is Traore. So if for those who don't know, obviously he only got 6 points, 3 2-pointers. Probably on the face of it, you're thinking he's had a terrible start to the season. He is in the top 5 for all significant stats right now. Shots, XG, XA, expected FPL points for midfielders, and this is him against all the premiums as well. He has been really, really good at the start of the season, but he's been so unfortunate. But this is the big issue with Traore right now. Is he unfortunate, or is he just a poor finisher? And I think right now, I'm leaning towards him being a bit of a poor finisher. So I think Traore is an excellent option, but my one worry with him would be, is he going to just continually underhit all of his stats? I think that's my worry right now for Troy, but it's worth saying that his fixtures long term are brilliant. Now we compare him to Gray, who is actually smug he is right now, who has actually started the season very well.
Well, you'd think I'm smug, right? But KP's just sent a super chat, and thank you, KP, for the super
KP,
chat.
thank you, buddy.
Thanks, mate. But he has just said Prince to be replaced in the next episode with Victor. Guess he's secretly taking tips from Victor. Right, Victor. KP, we were going to go, on holiday and see you, but they would just cancel those flights. That show. That's you off the list, KP. Taking tips off Victor, honestly. I mean, I probably should actually, really.
Oh yeah, we all should.
Yeah, we all should. Yeah, no, thank you, KP. We do. That's very kind, mate. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think Traore. Okay, so you're unsure about Traore, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm sure. I want to see something in terms of actual output right now. There's no doubt that he's going to get returns. Just need to see it from him on the pitch first. I don't like to pull the trigger just on underlying stats.
Yeah. And I think Damari Gray.
You're the man to talk about Damari Gray. I don't want to steal your limelight right now. For those who don't know, Prince put a tweet out about Damari Gray being undervalued and a great option. And yes, it's come true. Whatever.
And Decore.
Yeah, but he's had one worldie.
No. I'm telling you, by the end of the season, you're going to be like, Decore is great value.
Okay.
Decore will score at least about 5-6 goals this year. Okay. I'm telling you now.
Okay, I'm going to crop that.
Yeah, I'm telling you now it's going to happen, mate, honestly.
Guys, get in the chat. Abuse Prince for that. There's no way. And also, just notice we've got 35 people in this. So thank you very much. And be sure to hit that like button just so more people can check this out.
Definitely. Okay, so Damari Gray. He is a good option. Okay, I'll start with the negatives. Like, stats-wise, he hasn't been brilliant stats-wise. I think he's only had 2 shots and he scored from them too. So you can argue that is not sustainable. And that's fair. The flip side of it, I would say, is that he's basically playing as a left forward for Everton with good fixtures and a good attack. You've got Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Rodriguez might come back on the other side. He's going to get chances. For a nailed-on Everton, say, forward/winger, just over 5.5 million is pretty good. That's pretty good value, right?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm just saying the paint. That's just obvious.
And it's worth saying that Everton do have 3 very good fixtures coming up as well. Their run is still very good. Not too late to get on Gray. And I do agree that he is good value. He's putting actually the output. One thing, underlying stats don't kind of represent the actual returns that he's had. But 5.6 million now, can't really argue that.
Yeah. I think he is. I mean, Transfer saying he's only had an XG of 0.2, and he has taken his goals well. And I think, I'm not saying he's going to score every game, but I think you've got to remember he's 5.6 million. It's very cheap for a nailed on, basically almost a forward at times.
Yeah,
so I think, and I do like Decore as well. But if I was picking the two, I probably would go Gray.
Yeah,
but Decore would do well as well. Another mid-price midfielder. So if I was ranking the mid-price midfielders, right, or the lower category, I would put Rafinha number 1 because I think Leeds got good fixtures coming up. We kind of know about Rafinha. He does usually convert on his statistics, and I think on set pieces as well makes sense. Number 2, I'd go Traore. I agree with you. I really like Traore, but there's 2 big buts. I'm not sure how he's going to do against poorer sides. Like you said, I think they'll sit back and he'll find it more difficult. Yeah. And I agree with what you said. He's not a good finisher. And Jimenez also is struggling at the moment. So you need Jimenez to do well for Traore to do well because he's going to assist him. So, yeah, I would go Rafinha, Traore, and then Damari Gray. Okay. I think is how I'd rank them. Yeah,
I would probably have to agree. I do. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan on just going on underlying stats and going a punt on Traore, but Damari Gray's stats are a little bit off his actual output for me to want to go that way. So I probably would favour Traore over Gray just because of his long-term fixtures. But Rafinha ticks both boxes: fixtures, game time, and underlying stats. And he's baller as well, isn't he?
He's pretty good.
Absolute baller.
All right, so talk to me about fixture swings. Who are the teams we should be targeting right now?
Yeah, we just got a chuckle at this one right now because Arsenal are coming into the equation and the chat's going to explode right now because obviously Arsenal have had a horrific start to the season, but this is still Arsenal. This is still a team with very, very good players in. And for those who don't know, their fixtures swing from now. They have Norwich at home, arguably one of the best fixtures you can have right now. And long term, they have very good fixtures. So I think there's a few players that, don't laugh, we should be targeting right now, or even considering if you are on a wild card as just cheap enablers into your side. First one up, I wouldn't consider any goalkeeper. I think Leno and Ramsdale could be a rotation while Arteta identifies who his number one is. I think Ben White at 4.3 maybe now. That is a steal if Arsenal get, a bit of a run going. I know it's assumption that they might get a run going, but with these fixtures, it's now or never for them. And I still think that they could do very well over this period. So Ben White is a brilliant steal at that price. I also think that Tierney, if you want a bit of an attacking potential at 4.9 million, is a great option. Again, are you going to choose him over the other options? Probably not, but I think if you want a differential, he's a nice pick. Other than that, Arsenal attacking wise, I would probably avoid right now. I think defensively is where the value is in Arsenal. Aubameyang's overpriced. I don't think you're going to go for Smith Rowe right now when you've got Gray and Traore a little bit more expensive. And Pepe is an absolute you don't know what you're getting with him. So I would probably avoid all attacking options at Arsenal and just go defensively if you want to go for the differential route right now.
Tend to agree. I think Smith Rowe could be good value, but we need to see a bit more from him, I think. You're right with Gray, Decore, Traore, they are better options in my eyes.
100%.
I think Ben White would be the one.
Yep.
I think 4.3 million. They're going to tighten it up. Arsenal will improve. Yeah, no doubt. They will. They definitely will.
Everyone says it happens every year. They always say, "Oh, big teams get relegated," and then they just find that form and then they get going. And Arsenal historically are pretty decent in these sort of fixture runs, aren't they? They're pretty consistent. It's always the big teams they stutter on. So I think that's what we touched on Wolves. Got to quickly touch on them again. I think that they are probably the best team right now for the long-term fixtures. We've touched on Jimenez. Don't think he's the number one mid-price forward. I think there are better options. Traore, we've discussed, is a very good mid-price midfielder if you need to go that route. Defensively, I think that's where it's interesting. They have lost all 3 games 1-0, but underlying stats have been very good with them. 2 options, I think, maybe 3, is going to be Semedo at that right back, maybe right wing back slot. Cody. I know Cody's a bit of a boring option.
So there's a really great comment in the chat.
No.
FPL Transfer says, pretty sure this is Nacho's Arsenal bias talking. That's hilarious. You did play for Arsenal, so
I did play for Arsenal.
You are a bit biased, to be honest.
Back in the day, Wenger took me under his wing. Honestly, those are the days.
But sorry, I interrupted.
7 out of 10 every week.
Every week, mate. Every week.
Every week.
But yeah, Wolves. Which defenders then?
I think Semedo's a great pick at 4.9 million. I think Cody is probably the safe pick. If you want guaranteed game time, I believe he's 4.5 million. He's a nice way into the Wolves defence. And I think Marcel is another option, but I would go Semedo over Marcel, I think.
I think there's only one really. I mean, there's 2. You got Cody, he's 4.5. So if you want a really cheap one, you go with him. But I don't think it's worth it. Semedo would be the one.
Okay.
For me, I think 4.9 million. He's got that attacking potential as a fullback. His stats are pretty good as well. I think he's been unlucky and you can move down from say a Soufal maybe in the next couple of weeks. Or you got Shaw when the fixtures turn.
Yep.
So I think of all the Wolves players, weirdly Semedo would be the one I would go for.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a bit of a luxury to have that kind of price knocking about because you could easily go Kufel at West Ham at similar price. But if you are in a bit of a differential mood and you want to go that way, I think that's a nice move.
I think weirdly on Wolves, we need to see what they're going to be like against a poorer side. Yeah. So I think this is kind of the perfect week to just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait and see how they do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think fixture swings, there's a few more, probably not right now, but coming up. Leeds from game week 5 onwards. If you have Leeds players, you hold. I know they got a tricky fixture in game week 5, but after that, you're going to want them in. I think we've discussed on Leeds. I think Ayling, Rafinha, Bamford are probably the ones you want to target. And also, in a bit more longer term, maybe looking forward, Chelsea in game week 7. I know there's a few wildcarders out there. That's when it starts to get really good for Chelsea. I think against this Aston Villa side, without Martinez and Buendia, it could be a really good day at the office for Chelsea. So if you want to fire early at them, I don't blame you whatsoever.
I have a weird feeling that Lukaku is actually the best captain option this week.
There is a slight injury, though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Slight injury in Lukaku. Yeah. So, again, guys, be sure to wait till Friday to make any sort of transfer moves. But if Lukaku is confirmed fit, he is a phenomenal captain option. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to batter them.
Yeah, I think we will 100%. I think you know who the goalkeeper is.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you go in the opposite way, Aston Villa we discussed.
Yep. Get rid of Aston Villa assets.
Hey, we said about Martinez at the start of the season, we got absolutely slated calling him overpriced, but, it's going that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I think we jump off Aston Villa assets. I think Ings is probably the one you hold if you want to hold any.
Yeah.
And I think also another fixture swing, Man City we discussed is a little bit difficult right now.
I'd avoid, to be honest.
And Man United as well. After these next 3, you're going to want to potentially drop off. That's why Ronaldo's in the next 3.
Yeah, I think in the next few game weeks, it's all about starting to move those United assets to Chelsea assets, I think. So get ready for that. All right, so should we have a look at our team plans?
The juicy stuff.
The juicy stuff. So obviously, as you guys know, we do re-release this part of the video for anyone that hasn't seen it, but obviously you guys get it first because you are the fans and our favourite people. Exclusive. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's time to reveal our team and plans for game week 4. This is my team, Nacho. So it's about to be coming up now. So I just talked through my options. So I've basically got 2 free transfers. I've got about 1.5 million in the bank because last week I did Dean to Livramento, which I kind of feel like now was a mistake. But I needed to make a transfer, and I thought get some money in the bank because then I can kind of, it gives me more flexibility going forward.
Yep.
So it's kind of the moves that everyone's thinking, but I think there's 2 players I really want right now. One is Ronaldo because I think he's the best captain option this week. And the second is Jota.
Yes.
And I just think Jota, even if he's on the bench, he can do well. We know there's a Firmino injury. I just think you've got to take these moments in FPL when you're giving them. And I feel like at the start of the season, I didn't jump on Shimmercast, Jota or Greenwood. And it bit me a little bit. So I feel like, there's managers out there who have Shimmercast who maybe can't bring Jota in right now.
Yep.
So I need to take advantage of this moment in the short term and just make that move. I did think about I could have done Fernandez to Torres and then Ings to Ronaldo.
Yep.
And then I could get Traore, which would definitely strengthen up my whole team. And that's what I'd like to do going forward.
Yep.
But I just think right now, I think Jota is a much better option than Torres. And I've just got to focus a little bit more on the short term, potentially. And I think I'll avoid the hit this week. So it would be Fernandez to Jota, Ings to Ronaldo, and then I think I'd just do that. And then maybe next week I'd look at see how Wolves do. I could do Semedo and Traore in, or I could just do 1 free transfer, get like a Damari Gray just to beef up the squad. Because I'm having to play Livramento this week, which is, he's got West Ham, so I think they'll concede. But there is that little bit of attacking potential. So what's your thoughts?
No, I'm in a similar boat, and I think your moves are nice here. What I think is quite important, so you'll be getting rid of Fernandez and Ings, who we probably both agree is guaranteed game time if without injury considered, really. So you're getting rid of 2 guaranteed game time players. You're bringing in, I would say, a potential minutes risk in Jota, potentially, and a Ronaldo risk maybe to kick off the start of the season unless we get information. However, what I do love about this is that it changes your team structure, which I think is going to be one of the most priorities going forward for managers with the premium assets we have available, Lukaku, Kane and Ronaldo. I think there is so much, obviously necessarily value, but potential in these forwards that I do think that this is the route to go right now. So short term, maybe you might get punished with Ings, maybe just because he's so clinical. I think that the team structure long term is going to help you out big time. And you've got the wildcard in the pocket. That's the big thing for managers right now. If you do make these moves, if you don't use your wildcard, you can get yourself out of sticky situations. But I like the shift in team right now.
Yeah. Do you think my only issue is I feel like my team I'm not using all my funds. So like this week I'll have to pay Livramento. Like maybe next week I'll have to play like a Soufal against Man United. Is it worth taking a hit this week for like a Damari Gray or like no, it's not. Is it?
No, I don't think so. I think that you've got the assumption that the player you're bringing in, but you have to weigh up that -4. Is it a long-term move? I don't think it's necessarily a long-term move because the player you're bringing in, I just don't think they're going to be consistently returning off that -4. You're talking about players like Damari Gray, like Traore. We haven't seen enough Gray, yes, with the returns, but not the underlying stats. And the flip side with Traore, underlying stats, but no returns. Don't think that -4 is worthwhile here at all. I think you go for those 2 free transfers if you're going to make any, and then you just accept that the reason you're doing it is for a team structure upgrade in the way you're going. I think that's the route I would take.
Yeah, no, I think it's good advice. It's interesting because I'm 0.1 off getting Traore with this move, and I think if I could have done it, I would have been very tempted to take the hit.
Yeah,
because he's got the fixtures and he's got the stats, but I think you are the voice of reason, Nacho. I do take your advice.
That's why I beat you last year.
Talking of taking people advice, the chat is absolutely hilarious right now.
Is it?
I'm
Okay.
getting all kinds.
Yeah, good.
Victor is absolutely slating me.
Right.
So Victor says Prince is copying my team. Unbelievable, Victor. I mean, you've been on holiday for weeks. I don't even know what country you're in.
Let's get a rumour going on Twitter. Prince steals people's teams.
Unbelievable. I'm royalty for a reason. That's the thing, you know what I mean? But no, Victor, thank you for the super chat. And do you know what? I have to read out the comment. That's the worst thing with super chat. I have to read out the comment. Do you know what he's put?
Of course you do.
Do you know what he's put?
What?
When was the last time Everton won a trophy? That is unbelievable. Not only is that man about 500 in the world right now. Look, he's asking me when last time Everton won a trophy. It was 1995, right? I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, shocking.
That shows up when we won one last year.
We literally won 3 months ago.
Yeah, well, I'm not like a glory hunter like you, am I? So it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's fine. I don't do it for the glory.
I know players. Gianfranco Zola.
So Victor, thank you ever so much for that super chat.
Yeah, that's the pain in his voice.
The pain, that
So
whole
worth
pain.
it. So worth
Thank
it.
you, mate, through gritted teeth, begrudgingly, for the super chat. Really love that one. Oh, God. No, thank you. We do really appreciate it. So, yeah, my team, I think that's what I'm probably going to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be Captain Ronaldo.
I like it. No, I like the moves.
Yeah.
I really do like the moves. I think you're going for a nice team structure there.
Yeah.
And the captaincy, I think if he does get game time, it's one of the best picks.
Would you, I guess you'd wait until Thursday, Friday to do transfers as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, that goes to everybody watching right now. Transfers, you hold off. I even think, unless it's essential team value, you're losing out on a player, you cannot make your moves. I always let team value ride out, and I just accept if I lose 0.1, 0.2 on players and not buying them.
Yeah, okay. All right, so shall we have a look at your team, Nacho?
That's why everyone's here, isn't it? That's why everyone's here right now.
I think everyone's here for Victor's team, to be honest. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Victor, you can put your team in, buddy, and your rank, and make us feel bad. But currently sat 88,000 in the world, so I'll take that. I've had, similar to a lot of people, just very steady weeks. Usually I have like an absolute drop off the cliff, but it's actually been going okay right now. And I actually have a very similar team to you. I don't know when you've been copying my team. Like, Victor, I can relate to you right now. He's just literally combining our teams. He knows what's good for him, and he's going for the teams now. So, team is looking pretty solid. I have absolutely no intentions of hitting the wild card. We didn't really touch it on your team, but I think when you do play a wild card, I think you really need to justify 5 or 6 transfers being made. I think if it is 2 or 3 and you're doing it just to bring in like a big gun like Ronaldo, I think you take the points hit. The wildcard is so precious. It's the most important chip you have available. You don't get your second one until, I believe, December 16th, around that sort of period. So be very, very cautious about playing your wildcard. And I think if you can do your team with transfers and maybe a points hit, you do it. And this is a team that doesn't require a wildcard. I don't care what you say in the comments. So I got a very similar situation. I've got Livramento playing. I've got the usual bunch like White. I'm a loyal Ben White supporter. He is now down to, I believe, 4.3 million, but the guy is holding strong in the team. And this is where I'm going to be chuckling. He's going to get a goal, clean sheet, assist, 3 bonus points against Norwich at home. You can click this, it's going to happen.
What have you been smoking?
I'm just telling you it's going to happen.
Well, I've had like 2 compliments from you tonight, and you think Ben White's going to get like a 20-point haul.
I've had so much short-term pain with Ben White, he owes it to me. So right now, my current situation, I have 2 free transfers similar to you, and I have 0.6 million in the bank that I banked at the very start of the season for just riding out prices if I need to. And such a similar mindset to you. I have Fernandez, and I'm looking to potentially bring him out to Jota, and I have Danny Ings, and I'm looking to sell him to Ronaldo. Now, I've got a bit of a debate right now. That, for me, seems like the obvious move. I'm sure in the chat, everybody's going to be telling me that that is the obvious move to make. It upgrades my team for the team structure, brings in Ronaldo as a placeholder for Lukaku in game week 7, and then Harry Kane in game week 12, back to Cristiano Ronaldo in game week 15. I think that is the optimal strategy, obviously, if injuries don't happen. So that is the obvious move right now. I think the other one for me is, am I just jumping on Cristiano Ronaldo with a nostalgic pick?
Well,
is Calvert-Lewin
the poor guy? What are you going to do? Just jump on him? You can't be doing
I would
that,
jump on him if he
actually.
was here. I can't lie. Honestly, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
honestly,
fair.
but I'll probably slip off him that oil on his body. Honestly,
True.
but I think I don't have Calvert-Lewin, and last season, annoyingly, I was punished for avoiding him all season. It pains me, and Is Ings to Calvert-Lewin and roll the other transfer the best move?
Well, yeah.
No, but is it?
No, but so can we just go into this a bit deeper? So you're telling me you're finally admitting that you probably should have got Calvert-Lewin.
I'm choosing Calvert-Lewin over Ronaldo right now. This is what I mean. Like, so the reason being, Bruno Fernandez doesn't become a bad asset overnight, but I do think that if Ronaldo is confirmed to lose penalties and take him off Fernandez, then that's an obvious transfer right there. But I just don't know whether I want Calvert-Lewin more than Ronaldo. I just don't know whether...
Sorry, can we just check that you're not me right now?
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know if I
what
want
is in that drink?
Calvert-Lewin more than
What is in that drink? Oh, have you spiked me? Ollie, what have you done to me? Honestly.
I've never heard you say West Country. Sounds like another language in its own.
Something's happening right now. I don't know what's going on. But I honestly think that Calvert-Lewin over the next 3 fixtures can match or if not better Ronaldo. I honestly do. And the one reason why I want to go to Ronaldo is because it just gives me the team structure that I want going forward. So I want Calvert-Lewin. However, I think I'll probably go to Cristiano Ronaldo just because it gives me that strategy going forward. And if Jota is confirmed with Firmino out, he's the best asset in the game, I think, at that price. Best value asset.
I do see why you have a dilemma there. Because I do get that. I think, honestly, I would do the Ronaldo move only because there's a Calvert-Lewin injury out. I think that's your kind of like nudge to be like, this is the safe move. I think that's what you do. But if Calvert-Lewin's fit, and I think he probably will be, he is great. He's great long term. Because he's gonna perform better this season even than he did last season. And he scored like 15 goals last season.
Yeah, it's true.
He 100% is gonna on penalties now, getting more chances. It's just gonna happen. So I think your strategy over the next few weeks, you probably need to look at a way of getting Calvert-Lewin in. And I think Burnley, the difficulty for you is Burnley. And Burnley, I think, have conceded, oddly, a lot of headed goals.
Okay.
And obviously, Calvert-Lewin, that's his. I mean, him and Ronaldo are probably the best headers in the league. So, yeah, he's definitely he'll do well. But I think his minutes could be managed a little bit. So I think, non-bias, I can do it. I would go Ronaldo this week and do Jota and think of a way of getting Calvert-Lewin in. I assume you can't just get in Calvert-Lewin for a hit for this week.
No, I can't. No, okay. I can't get Tony up to Calvert-Lewin. So, and I think Tony, spoiler alert to Pookie, is going to be a sensational transfer coming up. Just wait on that. So those are my potential transfers.
Tony to Pukey.
Just trust me on that, guys. Honestly, you'll want to tune in the next few weeks because there's some gold being dropped soon. There's so much coming up.
That's dreadful.
I'm telling you, that's the one. But guys, we'll wait till next week when I get another like 70 point and beat this guy this week. So my potential transfers are going to be Fernandez and Ings to Jota and Ronaldo. But of course, we will confirm our teams. And captaincy is going to be, if I go that route, Ronaldo. But honestly, quickly on captaincy, I honestly think Salah and Antonio are 2 of the best options this game week. We saw Leeds against Man United. I see no reason why Liverpool can't do the same to Leeds. And Salah, for those who have been watching him, is looking so good right now. Looks so good. Underlying stats are still there. Penalties, looking great form. And Antonio has a really, really good fixture, of course, away to Southampton with their defence right now. I think he can score against anybody. But I think naturally at home to Newcastle, you're going to want to go Ronaldo. So I think Ronaldo will take the captaincy. But if I don't make that move, I think I would actually choose Salah over Fernandez.
Very interesting. Okay, so that is our team plans done for the week. So what we're going to do next is something very special.
It is special.
Do you want to tell them what we're going to do?
We're going to reveal a imaginary wildcard team. Now, we have no intention of doing it ourselves, but for the joy of you guys, we thought we would create a team that we think would be something similar to what we would go for long term.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people wildcarding right now, I think this is the team that we think would perform best.
Yes.
Okay, so you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's have a look at the best wildcard team for game week 4 and onwards. Right. Okay.
Where do we start?
Where do we start, Nacho? Do you want to lead?
Yeah, okay, let's lead. So, goalkeeper first. Again, 4.5 million, 4 million goalkeeper strategy. I think it's just still the best option going forward. Brighton have done enough to justify having Sanchez in goal, I think. I know they talk about Meslier and Wolves goalkeeper, but I just think spend as little as possible in goal and go forward with that. And that is the best optimum strategy. Let's move on to the defence. So we went with Semedo, didn't we, for Wolves?
Yeah. I think, so just touching on, like I said, I think goalkeeper, 4.5 million, just go with it. I think Brighton with Basuma there's enough defensively with them through the season. They can keep him in. I think, Semedo, Wolves, I think that 0.1 price drop was really crucial. I think he's an attacking fullback, really great fixtures, and his stats are good.
Yep.
He's had some good stats in the last few game weeks. So I think Semedo is going to be really good value. So I think for a wild card, he is great.
Yep.
We put in Eiling, haven't we?
Yeah.
Because I think Leeds got great fixtures, a little bit of attacking potential, and he just does what you want for 4.5, doesn't he? He plays every game.
He's just solid, just a solid pick. I know Leeds have been a little bit underwhelming, but I just think he's a solid asset to have. And when he scores 30-yard worlders every week, then he might do that again.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? And obviously we've gone Alexander-Arnold because
one of the essentials, if you can class a player essential for sure.
Yeah. I think arguably the best value player this season, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. And he's only going to get better, I do think, across the course of the season. Livramento, obviously, if you picked him early doors, happy days. I think he's just one of the best 4.1 million options in defence. When you do build your wildcard teams, you're going to want to save money where you can. This is one of those places. And Shaw is going to be the next one. Now, I think Shaw probably over the next 3 is great value, but longer term might not be. But I still think he offers great value over the next 3, and he then can be moved out to a player that will offer better value after the next 3. I think that's probably a bit of a placeholder player. With Varane in the team.
Look, United's going to get more clean sheets with Varane, and you've got Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So he's going to get more assists, more clean sheet, and it's a placeholder for like a Reece James 2 games.
100% great shout. Reece James is a brilliant option from game week 7 onwards.
Definitely. All right, the midfield, do you want to take? So we got Sissoko because he's just a cheap 4.5 million. Might get the odd goal here or there. He's going to play. Speak for itself.
I think no one's emerged. I don't want to go Basuma because I think Brighton triple up could be a viable option going forward, and I don't want to block ourselves with Basuma.
The only other one I was tempted by was Gilmore.
Yep.
Norwich, just because he's on corners.
Yep, that's a really good point.
So I think Gilmore is a good option.
I agree.
We've got Rafinha because great attacking potential, trusted FPL asset, only 6.5 million. It's great value. Leeds good fixtures. Yeah. He's got to be in your team.
Yeah, no, I think he's one of the best mid-price midfielders.
Yeah. And the Liverpool double up.
Midfield. Yeah, I really do think this is the value right now. I think Salah is just one of those you just have to bring in a wild card. I know you might not like him as a player, but historically he's the best midfielder. And Jota is going to be one of the most undervalued players in the game with Firmino's potential injury. I think those two are just great options for the next 3. And then you can spin out if you need to with Jota, but I think Salah sits in the middle of that team every week. And then you must have fiddled with the team because we've got Damari Gray sitting there at 5.6 million.
We've got Damari Gray because obviously I think maybe in an ideal world could go Traore, but you just get that little bit more value in Gray. And I do think he's a great option. Everton have got good fixtures. He's playing as a left forward. He started the season. So what a bargain they got for him. 1.5 million they paid for him.
Yeah, it's an absolute steal.
Yeah, and he's looking good. He's looking very good.
But I do agree with this team structure. We would have had Traore if we had the money, but you do have to make sacrifices here and there. And unfortunately, that was one of those. And the money men up top, isn't it? The money men. I love the forwards this year. I think there's so much value in the forwards. And I think, Antonio, absolute must when he's fit. He's just an absolute must. Ronaldo, I think short term, he's great. He's a placeholder for Lukaku in, say, game week 7, game week 8. Best captain option versus Newcastle. He's going to be the main man in that United team. And obviously, Calvert-Lewin has got to be in there. I think if he's fit, Everton, great fixtures, great handling ability, getting more chances to share. He's an absolute must. I think him and Antonio are such good value. Yeah, I think Antonio and Calvert-Lewin, if Calvert-Lewin doesn't have an injury into this game week, just go for those two. I think if you do wildcard, the big thing about it is that if you wildcard and don't go for the premium striker option, how you get into that route once they do explode. Because when Lukaku goes big in game week 7 onwards, even before that, you're going to have to wriggle a few double transfers, maybe points hits to get in. I think if you wildcard, you're kind of tying your hands a little bit to go for that premium route. But I think that is the optimum strategy and it will pay off longer term.
Definitely. So that is our best wildcard team. Let us know in the comments, guys. What do you think of it? Is there other players who've been there? Do you think this would do well? Is this what you would do? Let us know what you think. Okay, so we are just going to go back. We got a lovely super chat from KP.
KP, he said, thank you, buddy.
For FPL fan show to do a show from Goa, India during Christmas. Oh, can you imagine how amazing that would be? I mean, if we had the budget, Definitely.
Yeah.
We can't even get our 7-Ups in this week.
I was going to say,
Nacho couldn't even bring the snacks, could you?
We literally got like cold Heinz beans on the site. No, it's not even Heinz, it's Tesco value. So like, we're struggling here, but we do it for the love, don't we?
That would be amazing. And definitely, if I'm ever in India, we would love to see you, KP, and anyone else from India. It looks like the most amazing country.
Oh yeah,
isn't it?
It's unbelievable. It's where we live, 100%.
We'd love that. Love that, definitely.
So anyone wants to fund the flights, happy days. That'd be brilliant. Thank you.
I don't think we're going to get there somehow on that show.
No, it's true.
But thank you for the super chat. All right, go on.
I was going to say, what we can do is offer some FPL advice, and this is going to be question time. Like we said, guys, as always, if you have put a question in earlier on, be sure to put it again, and we can just find it and pick it up from the start. And as always, if you are enjoying this, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. So please, let's get going with this, guys, because there's plenty of questions in the chat.
Okay, yeah, guys, send in your questions. Any questions you have for this game week or going forward, let us know, and we will give you our advice.
Yes, let's do it. Right, so first up, and I apologise because there's no way of pronouncing this, but Vimu, will Ronaldo play the full 90 minutes?
I think he'll play about 85 minutes, and he'll come off to a standing ovation.
Wow. Okay. David Blaine over here just predicting the future.
It will happen, Nacho. It will happen.
Yeah, I think, again, perfect case of if you really want to know that information, you hold that transfer late as possible just to get a bit of information, leaks, maybe team press conferences.
Yeah, okay. So KP says, did Nacho drink vodka or water today? I think it's vodka.
I thought it was water, but...
Comments he's been coming out with.
Yeah, there's something going on in that water, honestly. It's the weird stuff going around here. We got one from... KP, Gilmore, a better 4.5 million option. Is he the best?
I personally think he is. Now, we've gone Sissoko in that team, but I actually think Gilmore might be.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fair shout. I'm
Yeah.
just scrolling up here for some. You get the latest one.
Okay. FPL transfer tip says, do we already have the Budweiser sponsor? We've been working on it. We've had nothing from Budweiser.
We surprisingly haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it?
Well, I think
you think they'd be all over this?
Heineken?
I'll give it a go. Maybe.
Heineken?
What about Moretti?
I was going to say, any strawberry daiquiri sponsors out there? That might be quite nice.
I'd love it. Okay.
Right, so we got one from Joshua who's asked, Ronaldo or Lukaku this game week?
It's actually really close, that,
Yeah.
I think Ronaldo just...
I would probably go Ronaldo. Lukaku might have a potential injury, which I think now sways it to Ronaldo. Ronaldo will get guaranteed game time no matter what. It just might not be off. He might be off the bench. And I think the big thing as well, if you go Lukaku, you can't go Ronaldo unless you have money. Whereas if you go Ronaldo, you can go down into Lukaku with the funds available. I think if you're building your team, I'd probably just go for Ronaldo. And I think he has the better fixtures. Lukaku has tricky game weeks 5 and 6. So Ronaldo would be the one for me.
Yeah, definitely. Victor says your wild card will be my team soon. Well, who's copping each other now?
Yeah, Victor, don't be saying that. We're getting a big head over here, honestly.
No, it's true. No, but I think that is what we probably are aiming for, isn't it? That looks good going forward.
Yeah, that's fair. We got one from Nuclear Atoms. How long will Christensen and Alonso be now? So it's probably a question for me, isn't it? So I think at the start of the season, I had the assumption that Christensen was coming in, Thiago Silva was getting fit, and then Christensen would be out the team and Thiago Silva would be straight back in. But this isn't a coincidence over the last 3 game weeks. Anybody who watched last season with Chelsea, Christensen was unbelievable when he had to come in and do a job for Chelsea. And it wasn't even a case of he'd done a really good job and he'd be bombed out of the team. I think what Tuchel's doing that is he is building a player in Christensen where I think we were worried about Koundé coming in and taking minutes from Christensen. That transfer didn't happen. I think Christensen is really in a position where if he plays well, he stays in the team. At 5 million, probably the best value into the Chelsea team. I still prefer Reece James, but Christensen would be a great pick. And I don't see him coming out of the team anytime soon while he's playing like this. Alonso, I think it's a different story. I think Chilwell will come in eventually. And Chilwell at 5.7 million now could be brilliant value. But for both players, particular Alonso, I wouldn't go for Alonso because I think that's a transfer waiting to happen. Christensen, I probably would go for him, but I'd rather go up 0.6 and get Reece James. And he will fall because of that.
Red card.
I think eventually once his price gets unlocked, I think he will fall in price and you get him a better value.
I can't wait for that.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'll definitely bring in Reece James in a few weeks. FPL transfer tips. One free transfer in the bank and thinking of Danny Ings to DCL instead of taking a cut to getting Cristiano Ronaldo. This is the dilemma you had. Really feel Bruno can do damage short term and not taking the cut this game. It could help bolster rank. Thoughts? I mean, it's so difficult, this. 'Cause this is the exact dilemma you had. Because if you take the hysteria away, it is a sensible argument.
Yeah.
I think the only thing, and again, you lot know this because I'm an Everton fan, but it's just that Calvert-Lewin injury just makes me slightly sceptical.
Yeah.
I think if you hear Calvert-Lewin's fit, it's a pretty strong argument.
Yes.
And it does also depend on who your captain would be, because there is other good captain options like Antonio, Salah.
Yeah.
So I don't mind. I honestly don't mind that move. Transfer tips. I think go with your gut. I think you just got to take Ronaldo will score, and if he gets a brace, you just got to be like, look, I did this for the long term.
Yeah.
Be okay with it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think coming in a similar boat, what I would say is the reason why I'm more leaning towards the Ronaldo route is I'm accepting that Calvert-Lewin could outscore him, but I'm benefiting from having the team structure in place going forward. That's my one reason in there, personally, because I want to hold that wild card going forward.
Okay, Ailey says, is taking Jose Sarr for the long term and the punt on him is better than Sanchez and DCL? Not for me.
No, I think you're getting decent underlying stats for Sanchez, and you're getting unbelievable underlying stats and output with DCL. Don't think you need to take that risk right now. I would say just go for the Everton and
agree.
Brighton combo.
Calvert-Lewin, much better option than Jimenez this year.
Yeah, Victor said Lukaku for me. Yeah, I think Lukaku, if you want to go safe, is a phenomenal option as well. Just be worried about injury. Nuclear Atoms, can Mount and Rudiger cover Lukaku since the defenders get so busy defending him that it leaves space for other attackers to exploit?
Interesting point. I would say no, because you're going to have the captaincy problem. I think from game week 7 onwards, a lot of the weeks we're going to want to captain Lukaku, and I think he could destroy it. Yeah, honestly, I've been at games where he scored 4 goals. Yeah, like, you're going to want to captain. So you're right in that. I think Mount especially is going to help him because he's probably going to get more assists now. So I think Mount will be great value, but it's the captaincy thing is the issue with that. I think you get all 3.
Yeah, I think all 3. At game week 7, we'll be talking about Chelsea triple up. I think Mount versus Havertz would be a very interesting discussion in a few game weeks' time.
Our man Victor says Benrahma versus Rafinha. I think this is Rafinha.
Yeah, I think Rafinha. I just prefer him long term, I think.
Yeah, I think Benrahma's he'll do well and he'll probably still take over, but I think Rafinha fixtures more nailed on. Rafinha's the one.
Damon said, if you can get to Ronaldo, DCL and Gray with just a 4-point hit, do you go for the mini wildcard or space the transfers out?
If you can get just Ronaldo and DCL without a hit, do that.
Yes.
But if you need Ronaldo and DCL sort of because of Gray for a hit, I probably would do that, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, 100% agree. And I would say Everton are like a ticking time bomb a little bit. If you don't get Gray now, you won't get Gray next week because he only has 2 good fixtures. So Everton's fixtures swing from game week 7, I believe. I think it's now or never for the Everton assets. And I agree, if Gray is the enabler, just go for the small wild card to hit, I think.
Okay, apologies for the name. I think it's Barani Duran. We'll go with that. Differential options for game week 4 and 5 on the midfield. Any ideas, guys? I need to let go of Barnes. So I would say, so if you got Barnes, he's
2.7%.
I'd say Traore if you got the money. Yeah, definitely. Sarr, Watford, decent fixes. Yeah, and I'd also say Decore, Everton or Gray. Honestly, I would. You wait, Nacho. Right, next few game weeks, I'm gonna give you so much because Decore is gonna score again.
I love it.
And
I love it after Ben White's hat trick.
I'm telling you, Decore is gonna score again soon. Yeah, okay. I'm telling you now. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I agree. I think Traore, even though there's a lot of talk about him, he's only like 2%. I think if you want a real differential with underlying stats, that's the one.
Do you want to read out Newcastle's one?
Newcastle. Oh yeah, here we go. Newcastle. Thoughts on Rondon? Will he play with DCL in the front 2 and Richarlison will move wide?
I don't think he will. I think Rondon has just been brought in as cover for Calvert-Lewin. I think honestly, because he's about to be 32 now. I think he's there for when Calvert-Lewin's injured and to take him off at the end of games. I think the thing with the Everton midfield is we've got to remember that it looks like James Rodriguez is staying.
Yeah, I know.
So they're gonna have James. If James Rodriguez plays in this Everton team, you've got James Rodriguez, Damari Gray, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin. It's quite an
So
attacking.
good for a mid-table team.
It's true. Say nothing. Say nothing. But that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty decent. So yeah. I know. I think he'll be cover. Cody, who would you bet on winning Golden Boot this season between Ronaldo, Kane, Lukaku, and Salah?
Um,
You know what? I want to say Lukaku, but Salah's probably the safest.
Salah, I
isn't
just
he?
can't go against Salah. I think Salah,
Yeah.
because he's guaranteed penalties, I don't think Lukaku will necessarily have him with Jorginho in the team. One from Patrick has asked, do you think...
Yeah. I think it's
Pratic. Sorry, my pronunciation's terrible.
We have been teaching him how to read.
I'm learning English slowly.
He is still learning.
Yeah, I still got the farmer twang still, so apologies. Do you think DCL plays game week 4?
Yes, I'd say 75% sure.
Okay.
I'd
One
say.
from Slaphead.
So I'm not saying that
Best 8 million midfielder pick, and he already owns Jota.
Rafinha.
Rafinha, I think you just save the money.
Yeah.
Grealish, if you want to take a punt, but
I
won't go down that route.
No, it's Jota, then Rafinha.
Yeah, or you hold and you wait and get someone like Mason Mount down the road.
I agree. So the move
Yeah, that
it's
was
the
killing
FIFA
me.
ban on Brazilian players staying home happening. We literally don't really know at the moment,
Yeah,
do we?
nothing announced officially.
There's just not. We just don't know. That's wait and see.
Yeah. Nuclear Atoms, how convinced are you by the prospect that Torres will play most games? Pep does play new signings in their second season more often. That's good shout.
Yeah, and I think that as well. I think Torres will have a good year this year. I really do, but I still say there's enough. The problem at the moment, it's not that Torres is not a great option. I think he is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think game week 7, game week 8, we may even look to bring him in. It's just the fixtures and the timing right now.
Yep.
It's because De Bruyne and Foden are back. Torres has just played, I think, twice in the internationals. He's played all the starting games.
Yeah.
Law says he's due a break.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, so I think he'll probably start the next one, but he's going to get benched in the one after that. So I think, yes, he's a great option. It's just not quite the right time to bring him in.
100%
That's
agree.
all. Delmac, I'm going DCL, Antonio, and Captain and Kane. Got cash to rotate on. Kane's he's not bad. I just think there's so much value out there. But yeah, if you got him, captain him definitely. Nuclear Atoms, how good a value can Raya provide? Is that Raya the goalkeeper?
Yes,
that's him,
goalkeeper. Yeah, I think he could be good, but I still think Sanchez is the better option at Brighton, personally.
KSB, will you keep Antonio or get DCL? You got to keep Antonio.
Oh my God. Antonio out is just not a question.
Yeah.
You just can't get rid of Antonio. He's better than DCL right now.
Yeah.
I think.
Victor says, we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo like about Messiah. United fixtures are not great and don't know why I feel that everyone will regret this move. Yeah, there is a little bit of that. There is a little bit.
Yeah, like he can't go on forever, can he?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's just the really simple terms of it's Newcastle, won the captaincy, and he's going to skyrocket in price.
Yeah.
That's all
that
it is
value.
for me. That's all it is.
He's not going to
But
drop in
I get
price,
it.
is he? He's not going to drop.
No,
at all.
you're not wrong. I actually think Lukaku is better value long
Yeah,
term.
no, I agree. I agree.
Definitely.
We got one from opinions on Saka asked by Nahum.
Yeah, it could be a good shout.
Yeah.
I think we just need to see a little bit more from Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree. I think the defence has value. I would want to wait and see on the Arsenal attackers
Yeah.
right now. Saka, why are you going to pick him right now over the other options available? I think you're just kind of doing it on the hope that they're going to go big.
Transfer tip says the real winners this game week are the ones going without a cut. I think it means a hit. You're probably right.
Yep.
Kazid, Capadia. Sorry, I butchered that. Apologies. Adama, Traore, or Sarr. I'll probably go Traore.
I'll go Traore because I think you'll want Traore once you've got Sarr for the next few. I think Traore, you can just keep him in there. But the only problem with Traore, what will be an issue for people, is you will never want to sell him because each game week looks better than the next. So just be wary that when you have Traore, you're in for the long run.
KP says every pick of Prince ends with an Everton asset. That's not true.
Very true.
But Damari Gray is definitely a great option. Do you know what I mean? So that's
I like that. That's very good for you.
It's funny for me.
That's very good for you.
Cheeky.
Victor, best captaincy for next week will be Salah. I agree. I think Salah is a brilliant pick and he will get overlooked by Ronaldo, but because of Ronaldo.
Yeah. New Clash says, I do see a problem with Lukaku that Chelsea doesn't focus on attack too much, so it would lead to a Lukaku underachieving in terms of goals. Could be, but they're just such a good team.
Yeah, I just
they're
think,
just so good.
And
Do you know
Lukaku
what I
can
mean?
score in so many different ways. That's why he's so good in the Premier League. Very similar to like a Kane, can score very different routes.
KP says he loves your pronunciations, especially Regulion.
Regulion, yeah, that's going to go down for the OGs out there.
No man on an FPL video has ever described a football player like a pasta.
Yeah, I made him sound delicious, to be fair.
You did. Nahum says White or Marcel. Probably go White, actually.
Marcel offers the attacking potential. I just think I'll go White just because he's cheaper. Yeah. I don't expect much from either of them necessarily.
Victor says Havertz is a good option if you want cover Chelsea. Yeah, Havertz could be a good option.
Yeah, I'm still very wary.
Mount, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Mount has value, and I'm also a little bit wary. I think it's one of those situations we have so many attacking options. He could easily just drop in Werner, Ziyech, Pulisic, so many options. I think he can easily rotate those going forward.
Just having a quick look at James's wildcard team. I won't read it all out because it's quite long, but yeah, it does look good, James. The only slight issue I said, you've got Jota and Torres and Benrahma. That's a little bit rotation risk for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty much it. I think Delmac said Williams at Norwich for 4 million. Yeah. I think he could be a great pick. Now that Liverpool's gone at 0.1, probably could just go Williams because I think both of them are going to be decent-ish options.
Yeah. Nahom asking if Ronaldo will start. We think he will. Nuclear Atom said, when will Nacho Twitter space return? Yeah, a lot of people love that.
Soon. Yeah, very soon. Just trying to squeeze it in with new work and all, really.
Yeah, definitely. How's the new job, mate?
Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm building spaceships.
There's no way they're ever letting you.
No, I'm not.
Can you imagine you trying to give instructions? All right, we're going to put the field right there. Regulion. They feel like you what, mate?
Yeah, so no, I'm not doing that. But on my quest for FPL Manager of the Year, really.
We can hope so.
We can hope.
What rank are you at the minute?
88k.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Finished 8k last season. Just want to the best rank I ever had. So I'm going to mention it every conversation.
Yeah, I'm 500k at the minute. I actually feel a little bit disappointed with that. And it's the Shimmercast thing and not getting Jota or Greenwood's kill me. But 500k at this point in the season, don't you smile?
No, it's fine.
It's still pretty good, right?
It is good. It's good.
It's good.
Literally, you cannot lose FPL at the start of the season unless you do like a minus 100 point hit. Do not get downhearted.
Yeah, I do need to get on Twitter Spaces. You're right, KP, and I will join.
Yes, he will. Definitely. I'll force him. I think that's it.
I think that's it. There's one from thoughts on Trincao. Good option, but rotation risk for me.
Yeah, rotation risk, especially with Podence and Neto in the future coming back.
Yeah. Finally, Damon says, can you pronounce that last one?
Kevin
Lasagna.
Lasagna, isn't it? No, Lasagna. Lasagna.
I think so.
Dame, you stitched me up here horribly.
What a note to finish on. So thank you everyone for all your questions. Obviously, if you haven't already, please make sure you like the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for all your fantastic comments, wonderful super chats, and all your support.
Yes, and as always, thank you for tuning in. If you do want exclusive additional content, we have got our Patreon going for September, so it is going to be additional podcasts, which are going to be very in-depth Q&As. There's going to be team reveals, like exactly what we do, because they can change in the future. And of course, private leagues and just usual little bits in there, little nuggets going along. So if you do want to support that, link in the bio.
Yeah, so we hope everyone has a good game week. We've enjoyed it as ever. Glad to have the football back.
Oh, yes, I cannot wait.
Cannot wait. So thank you everyone so much